The greatest fail of humanity is building. It consumes half of the Earth's resources, generates half of the world's wastes, and emits half of the greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. The greatest fail of humanity is building. Many houses are as cold as ice caves in winter, and as hot as sauna rooms in summer, much contaminated by particles, formaldehyde, germs, and oxygen deficiency. In case of earthquakes, every concrete building may collapse, and everyone in his lifetime might be buried alive. The greatest fail of humanity is building. It gnaws away most families' half of a lifetime savings. To build a house that lasts less than your life, your children have to toil all their lives to pay off a house. The greatest fail of humanity is building. While all industries in the world have been revolutionized and modernized day by day, with high quality and efficient streamlined production, whereas buildings are still with concrete, which was developed 160 years ago. They continue to employ laborers from the lowest tier and carry out dirty, messy, and risky on-site work in a coarse and even barbaric manner. Building failures are too many to count. The grandeur of the shape and the delicate makeup, decorations are so striking. Most people believe that building is of high tech. They don't think it's a fail, but a success in their eyes, which is the root cause. If, one day, humanity has realized building fails, then there is still hope. Today, that hope seems to have come. Let's quietly spend a few minutes to watch a successful case of a good building. It may change your perception of architecture, the world, and even life itself. Broad has invented a building that adopts stainless steel as a structural material. It uses zero concrete and is called Hold-On building. This deep technology is Broad's proprietary invention, B-Core Slab. It's a sandwich structure with the best mechanical properties, greatly reducing more than half of the steel consumption, while maintaining the required strength standard. It makes stainless steel buildings as affordable as a traditional concrete building. Importantly, stainless steel is a ductile material. If a devastating earthquake strikes, it gets bent and deformed at most, but never collapsed, which eradicates the fear of earthquakes forever. What's more important, stainless steel is 30 times more corrosion resistant than that of carbon steel. It can last 1,000 years. So our future generations will no longer be slaves to their houses. This is no longer a technological advancement, but a revolution in the mindset. It will guide every ordinary person to the prospect of 1,000 years. Broad Hold-On building adopts the nearly zero energy building standard. It miraculously achieves 90% more energy efficiency than that of a conventional building, while maintains a constant indoor temperature during all seasons, which is an amazing figure. But when you see that Hold-On building is equipped with 4 paned windows, 22 centimeter thick insulated exterior walls, exterior sunshades, and fresh air system with heat recovery, you won't be surprised at all. Especially if you live in Montreal, where it's minus 30 degrees centigrade, or if you reside in Dubai, where it's 50 degrees centigrade. You might take Hold-On building for a priceless gift from heaven. Broad Hold-On building is equipped with clean fresh air machine invented by Broad. It takes 100% fresh air from outdoor and provides 99.9% filtered clean air indoor, with 80% heat recovery devices. You can close windows and doors tightly, completely isolating from the city pollution and noise. The indoor air is fresher than outdoors, without opening windows. Rooms stay dust-free, even if you don't clean them for months. Just imagine what kind of experience you would have if you lived in a thick forest. If you breathed air 100 times cleaner for a long time, would your lungs be as fresh red as a child's? On the other hand, Broad Hold-On building creatively utilizes the streamlined production similar to that of car making. All Hold-On building components are 100% factory made. More than 2,000 varieties of materials have gone through 500-plus quality inspections, ensuring every welding seam, every cable, every inch of the finishes to be accurate. In striking contrast to full loophole construction sites of conventional buildings, this is what a proud technology era should be. Broad Holon Building has also developed a container size for module production. Like regular containers, Holon modules can be transported around the world at low cost without any damage, and the freight cost can be even lower than that of containers, as a module itself is already a container. It saves the freight cost of returning empty containers. But don't assume that the space will be as narrow as a container. Quite the opposite. Once Holon buildings are installed on site, the non-load-bearing wall space is 12 meters in length, and its width is doubled up to 4.8 meters, and can be partitioned freely. Holon Building has truly become a flexible building. People can fully acquire the living space freedom. Broad Holon Building can be installed on site very quickly, at least 3 floors per day. The 26-story residential building you are watching now was completed in just 5 days on live stream, witnessed by people all around the world. As the building was 100% factory made, the installation on site was merely screwing the bolts and gluing the joints. Training requirements for installers are not much. Everyone is capable of doing so with a short time training. This ensures greatly that every detail of the building meets the quality standards set in the factory. When many people hear that Holon Building is modular, their first reaction is the building is simple, lacking of experience. In fact, the contrary is true. The experience of Holon buildings is at its peak. The classic Nordic architectural aesthetic is pleasing to eyes. Huge bay windows with 180-degree view and ultra-clear glass. 4 layers of glass are more transparent than one. People felt as if they had been in nature. 4 layers of glass have the added benefit of completely isolating city noises, and the floor is double layer, completely avoiding the conflict between the upper and lower neighbors. Even small details are considered to the extreme. For instance, closing the door without a sound, running the tap for 5 seconds to get hot water. You might never get used to residing in another dwelling once you lived in Holon buildings. There are so many striking advantages to Holon Building, which obtained twice the Innovation Award from the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat, CTBUH. It received the first place award in Modular Building Institute's annual World of Modular Awards of Distinction in the multi-family category. Holon Building went through more setbacks and failures than outsiders could imagine. When you have learned that Broad has spent 14 years, mobilized more than 1,000 employees, and invested over $1.5 billion on R&D, you would have known how difficult the development of Holon Building had been. Actually, the most difficult issue of Holon Building lies in the cost, but not the technology. If Holon buildings were expected to be accepted by hundreds of millions or even billions of people around the world, it is a must to make it at a lower cost, which seemed impossible. For more than a decade, the R&D team of Holon Building has always been focusing on cost, from products, production lines, supply chains, to logistics, installation, operation, and maintenance. It has challenged thousands of the impossible and miraculously cracked the contradiction of high quality and low price. If one day you lived in a Holon building, standing in front of a huge bay window and looking far away, you would be very thrilled. Thrilled for yourself, thrilled for the future of your children and grandchildren, thrilled at the fact that you personally had participated in a movement to protect humankind and protect the earth.